Hey everybody, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers. I'm sorry I'm late. My computer and I were arguing. It happens more than I would like to ever admit. Um, I think it's just because I'm getting old enough that I just don't get it anymore sometimes. So I'm sorry I'm late. And now I'm getting all these messages from YouTube. Silly thing. Hey Marva, appreciate you coming. All right, let me do a quick refresh here and be sure I'm actually live. There, it looks like, no, let's see, I'll push that button. So now it looks like I'm live. Okay, good. All right, well, here is our card for today. And it is a fun fold. A friend of mine, Karen Zenzakovic, did one on Tuesday, this kind of a card. And when I asked her what she called it, she said she called it a Bendy card. And so when I looked at her instructions and I looked that up on the internet, that's what it seems to be. But you can see that it's kind of got some depth to it. But what's cool is it lays down flat to go into a regular medium-sized envelope. Hey guys, appreciate you coming. I'm sorry I'm a little late. I was saying my YouTube and I were having a discussion, and it wasn't pretty, I'm just saying. Okay, so this uses the Flowers of Beauty, the Unbounded Beauty suite. Basically, it's the whole suite. Okay, so I've got the DSP, I have the Unbounded Love bundle and the Flowers of Beauty bundle. Both of these bundles are on sale right now for 10% off, but only through the end of the month. So if you don't have them, this might be a good time to grab them up. Now, I did just realize that I've also forgotten one little piece of cardstock, so let me get that right quick so that we have it ready to go. I've got this and I can cut it. All right. So this basically, if you looked at this card in its infant stage, you would see that it's a 4 1/4 by 5-inch piece that we're going to call the card base. And then you have a smaller piece here, and it is 2 by 4 1/2, and you do a little bit of scoring and folding, and that's the pop-out piece, and I'm going to call that the pop-out piece. And then you have this front part, which I'm calling the band, or the bendy part. Whichever you like to do. Yes, it is hot and muggy here. But oh, you guys, I got to tell you this before I forget. Actually, two things before I forget. The first one is cool. This morning, I was doing a little work in here, and Wayne said, Mary, come quick. The little mama is across the pond, and she has a teeny, teeny baby. And the little mama is a deer, and the teeny, teeny baby was smaller than Finn, all his little spots, and he was just cavorting all over with her. It was so stinking cute. It was so cute, I didn't even try to find my camera to get a picture because I just wanted to look at him. It was darling. The other thing I want to tell you before I forget is I will not be doing a video on Saturday evening, so I'm sorry. I will miss you, but I will be back the following Thursday. I'm going to take Saturday, and I've got some errands to run and things to do, so don't be looking for me on Saturday. I will do my best to post a reminder on Saturday about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This will all be on my blog tomorrow. And I will tell you that when you see the blog, the first thing I'm going to say in the blog is, if any of the words are confusing, watch the video. Because sometimes fun folds are just a heck of a lot easier to show via a video. All right, so I have a Berry Burst card base. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 again. And then I have a piece of the Unbounded Beauty DSP, which is gorgeous. Remember, this is the in colors, the new 24-26 in colors. So you're going to find the Peach Pie, the Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, the Pretty in Pink, and then that other one that whose name is escaping. Oh, Petunia Pop. Those are all the colors in this DSP. So let's first off go ahead and adhere this piece to our cardstock, our card base, like so. And I'm going to try to remember to tell you, oh, this did not work out at all well. Let me see what I did. So we're starting off just swimmingly. This must not be right. Nope, this is not right. Hang on, let me fix this. This is the problem right here. Which in theory means it'll be easy to fix. Easy to fix. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. All right, let's see if I can make that work. Well, that's easier than fixing the DSP, actually, with the adhesive already on it. Okay, so we're just going to put that in the center. And then I'm going to score it at the halfway point, which now that I have cut it correctly is going to be at 2 3/4. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it that direction first, and then we'll do it the same way this direction. Here, the biggest trick is to be sure you use the scoring blade. Okay, so then this is just going to fold in half, like so, and we'll give it a burnish. Okay, and I guess I should make sure that's actually folded in a good half. Do you ever feel like it's going sideways and you just can't get the brakes pumped? So I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say, yep, it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. Yep, creativity now is happening on Saturday as well. So it's gonna be a busy day as well. So for those of you who aren't demonstrators, perhaps, Creativity Now is an event that we get to do, and it's kind of fun. And we have a sneak peek of a new suite from the September to December mini catalog. So that's going to be fun. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do the 2 back panels first, because that way it's just a little easier to adhere them. And I'm using both of the panels in white, and I made this into a sympathy card. So we're going to use a few different sentiments from the Unbounded Love. Unbounded Love is kind of a build, so I'm using Faith, Hope, and Love and the corresponding sentiments that go with them. And then I'm also doing adding My Heart Goes Out to You on the other side. So let's go ahead and do a little stampolating. We'll do a little stampolating. So I'm going to start with My Heart Goes Out to You. And I'm going to pull this to me just a smidgen widgeon so that I can get it down and good. I know you love new stuff. I too love new stuff. It is true. I do love new stuff. Now I'm going to take Pretty in Pink, and I have the stamp image for the small flower from Flowers of Beauty, and I'm going to stamp that in this top corner. I'm going to use Full Strength for the outline, and then I'm going to use Stamped Off Once for the fill. Okay, so let me get that lined up. And with all of these 2-step images, you're going to want to do your dark image first and then the lighter one. That makes it a little easier to see the outline so that you can line it up, okay? So this is the right side panel, and now we're just going to put sentiments on the left side. And so here's what I did. This is what I did about that. When are you going to get the sneak peek? Well, I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, it would be almost mean to show you a sneak peek of it too early. But one never knows. You might see it soon. Maybe next Thursday. I don't know. We'll have to tune in to watch out. I don't know. I'm not even trying to be a tease. I just truly don't know. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of up near the top. I'm going to stamp Faith in Shy Shamrock. And then I'm going to move that out of the way and pull up Pretty in Pink. And I'm going to find is the corresponding sentiment, which is being sure of what we cannot see. And I'm going to stamp that in Pretty in Pink. Let's be sure I'm getting a good image there. And I'm going to stamp that right under Faith, centered and hopefully straight. Okay. Then I'm going to switch out. Here's the really tough part. You want to switch those out, or you will, in fact, put your ink pad in the wrong, or your stamp in the wrong ink pad. And then you'll have green on pink and dogs sleeping with cats, and oh my gosh, it'll be terrible. Okay, and then I'm just going to line up Hope like that and find Is Believing in a Brighter Tomorrow. Swap out those ink pads. Make sure I'm getting a good image. Okay. And I'm going to put this right here because I have another stamp on there and I don't want to get it. I don't want it to stamp straight there and centered. Okay. And then the last one will be Love is a many splendored thing. That was an example of having the words correct and the tune completely non-existent. I'm just saying. Hey Mary, if you you would have needed to sign up for Creativity Now. And that sign up period was a month or so ago. And if you did that, then it would give you the opportunity. Only people who signed up for Creativity Now have the opportunity to purchase the new suite. So that's how that's working out. All right. All right. And now I'm going to stamp Love, the Love Boat. And then where's that sentiment? Is never gives up. Okay. And let me be sure I'm getting a good image and my other stamp. You see, I've got the stamps alternated on my same block. You just have to kind of be careful about where those other ones are. Why did I do that when I have so many extra blocks? Yeah, I don't know. Mostly because I don't know. I got nothing. But anyway, that is how it turns out. And I was pretty happy with that. I thought it was kind of cute. Yeah, cute. I just said cute, and that's not even a thing. I don't know. All right. And then we'll just adhere this on the left side. And we'll adhere this on the right side. Okay, now this gives you a little bit of a space to write a little message. I mean, you're not going to write like a Tom Clancy book, but you could write a message. Okay, so now let's go ahead and decorate the front. There are two parts of the front, and we're going to, I've done some die cutting of our foliage. We've got a sentiment. This is from the Unbounded Love die set. So it's this die right here in just basic white. And I'm going to stamp. We've got to find one more, with Sympathy. And we're going to do it in not sure which Mary you're sending to, but Mary Schreiber didn't sign up for that, so she would not have gotten an email now. All right, we're going to stamp with Sympathy right here. Okay, whew, I got a good one. That's good because I did not cut a second die cut. I was going to have to go work off base, as it were. Okay, now here is the little piece that, well, I'm not going to do that yet. So now let's go ahead and make our center part, the center part, which is the pop-up part. And to do that, I have a piece of the cardstock in the same color. So in this case, Berry Burst. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch on each of the long ends. Okay. Like so. And you could pull out your scoreboard if you wanted, but all of these are short, so I just didn't do that. Again, the hardest part right there, making sure you don't use the cutting blade. And then we're going to fold those back, and what that has just made is your adhering portion. Okay, and don't do that. Okay, then I'm going to take another piece of the DSP. This is the Unbounded Beauty. And I'm going to adhere it. And basically, you're adhering it between the two folds. Okay, so if you want to look at it like that, then that's the way you would look at it. So let me go ahead and put that on. I'm going to use liquid glue just so that I have a little minute to play with it. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to score it in the middle of the piece, okay, which is at 2 1/4 inches. Let me put the lid on here. I'm glad you like it, Faith. With any luck, I'll get it put together correctly and won't have an epic fail. Okay, and this one is going to go like so. Okay. Now, the demos that I have seen have used tear and tape. I kind of prefer liquid glue for this part, okay? Because it gives me wiggle room, easier wiggle room, okay? Again, you don't want to use a whole lot extra. The glue is very, very good, and it is going to hold, all right? And then you can put this one on as well. What you do want to be sure is that you're putting it on the part like this, because this is going to lay down like so that those little tabs adhere it to the card front, okay? We're going to show you that in just a second. I just used the royal we, or I have a frog in my pocket. I don't know. I didn't mean to say we. I'm sorry. Now, because I already know the design, I know that I'm going to push this down right near the bottom, okay? And you're lining the center crease of this piece with the center crease of your card base, okay? And then just making it straight. And then give it a second for that glue to take hold, which it certainly will very soon. Okay, now let me go ahead while that is drying. I'm going to cut this. What you're looking for, what we're doing, let me see if I can show it to you. If well, you probably can't see it. Oh, there you go. You see these little pieces right here? There's one on this side of the sentiment, and there's one on this side of the sentiment, and it's going to make the pop-up that pulls the sentiment out. See how that does? Lays flat, pops out. Lays flat, pops out. Flat, pop, flat, plop. It feels like a song in there somewhere. Okay, so to make our little tabs, I'm going to do two 1/2 inch wide by 1 inch pieces, and this actually is 1 inch. Okay, so that works. So I'm just going to cut a 1 inch piece there, and I'll cut it in half. These are just really little tabs. How much does it matter that you get these the exact size I'm telling you? The answer you're looking for is not really. Okay, it's just not that critical. But I do like them to be the same size, and then score them in half at 1/2 inch. Okay, like that. And then like that. All right, side, okay. All right, let me get rid of this, and I'm going to show you how this is going to work. Okay, this is why I said it's really going to be so much easier for you to get this from the video versus from the words that I'm going to write. I'm going to do my darndest to write words, but it's going to be difficult. Now, this one is a bit of a spatial thing. It's spatial. So I know that I want the sentiment roughly there, and I know that because I have this band that's going to go here. And I want the sentiment to be about like that, okay? So I'm going to put my little tab doohickey in the bottom half of this. Does that make sense? If I put it up here, it wouldn't have anywhere to adhere because it adheres to this piece right here. So I want to hinge this right about there, but on the back, okay? And then these pieces are going to go on like this. So we're going to put adhesive here and adhesive here, and we're going to butt them right up against each other and just create a little hinge doohickey, a little hinge doodad like that. Okay, and we're trying to center the hinge in the middle of the sentiment. Y'all just chime in if you're having questions, okay? So I'm putting the folded piece, I've kind of centered this on my grid, right? Sorta. Like that. And before it dries, I want to be sure I'm on the bottom. I am. And then we'll do the same here. Like so. Okay. Oop. You can't get jiggy with that glue. So you can see how that now is sitting, right? I feel like Vanna White. Okay. And then what's going to happen is these inside pieces are going to adhere to that pop-up piece. You catching what, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Anybody? Everybody? Everybody? Yes. Okay. Now, I am going to put this on right now, but I'm going to have my band in place so that I get the vertical distance correct. Okay. So I'm going to leave that band right there. Just lay it on the card base like that. Put my glue on these two tabs. And then I'm going to center the sentiment like that. I'm going to make sure that, make sure that my hinge, I should put it on right side up. Okay, make sure that my hinge is centered on my poppy-uppy thing. It is. Okay, and then just kind of push it down. Let me be sure. I think that's too low. Move up. Move up. There we go. Okay. There we go. Still centered and like that. This is why I love liquid glue, because I had time to do that. Could you put the hinge part onto the card and then lay on the label? You could, but I actually think this is easier. I really do think this is an easier way to do it. I mean, you could probably do it like that. Maybe. That would be worth a try, Gian. It certainly would be worth a try. Okay, now, before I decorate, it gets a little harder when you decorate with the band in place, but it also lets you see what you're doing. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. The band is a piece of the same DSP that I used on the back. And I am going to make the band go like this. Okay, so we're going to see this part, and this part, which is the tab, is going to blend in. Okay, I did one where it didn't blend in, and my brain just said, nope, 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 that is not okay. You can't do it like that. If that's just a me thing, then pick whatever color you want. But it was a me thing. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to score the end. This is a 6 1/4 long by 1 1/4 tall, and I'm going to score each end at 1/2 inch. Are you getting kind of the trend here? A lot of 1/2 inch scoring going on. You're picking up what I'm putting down. You're catching what I'm pitching. Alrighty. And then you just want to bend this the correct way. So these are going to bend in. Actually, I just did it wrong. Turn it this way, doofus. Okay. Bend them in like that. Okay. And then these are going to just adhere like so. And I sized this so that it would line up with the edge of the DSP. Okay, because that made me happy. And I obviously cut that backwards, so I've got a ridge there. So let me help that out a little bit. Once again, the demos that I've seen use tear and tape. I prefer liquid glue because it gives me time to mess with it. All right, and make sure it's where I want. But do you see that I don't have a ton of liquid glue on there? Okay, it's not just globbed. Don't glob. This is not Elmer's glue. This is not your kindergarten glue. I promise. This is great glue. You don't need a ton, and a ton will actually work against you. So I'm lining this edge up with the DSP and the bottom edge up with the bottom of the card base. Okay, like that. Okay, and then we'll let that set a second, and then we'll put the other side's glue on. Again, not getting crazy. And I'm telling you, if I got crazy, I would wipe it up. Okay, because that's gonna, it's the way to ruin is to get crazy with liquid glue. Okay, so I'm gonna line this edge up with this DSP and this edge up with the bottom of the card base and give it a little pushy push. And you can see we're still laying down flat, and when you open it up, that tab disappears. If I had used the other side with the orange out, you would be able to see this in there, and that drove me batty. Okay, All right, so now it's time to decorate. Now's the fun part. Now's the fun part. Yes, Mario, I am so glad that you use the liquid glue because it's the best. Okay, now I've done some die cutting, like several. These are all from Flowers of Beauty. There's two big dies. I used this one and I used this one. And I cut one of each, one from Shy Shamrock and one from Basic White. And then from the label dies, which is the Unbounded Love, I cut one of these leaves and one of these leaves, also from Shy Shamrock. And this is just an extra, in case I decide I need to add some stuff. And then I used this die and the other one that is somewhere. Oh, here it is. These two dies right here. You can see one makes 8 big flowers and one makes 8 little flowers. So I made big flowers out of Pretty in Pink, little flowers out of Basic White. You could do whatever color combination you wanted. And then I stacked them all up with glue. Okay, so they're going to look like that. And do I have more than I need? Absolutely. Does that make me happy to have extra? Because what if I get a hair and I decide I want to add more? Never forget, I'm a more is better kind of girl. Thank you, Jean. All right, so I'm just going to start adhering these little guys to the flowers. And fair warning, I am not going to do all of them because you'll be like, oh my gosh, Mary, will you stop gluing flowers? So I know for sure I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, odd number, of course. So we'll make 5. I had 1 going. All right. Et tres. And I try to get them kind of not lined up so they look a little more like flowers. That's what I think. Okay. Now, the actual really difficult piece of this card is the decorating with these die cuts. And difficult is probably the wrong term. It's more, what's the word we would probably use? Persnickety. Okay. So there's our 5, and I have my extras in case I ever need them right now. Okay? So, now, here's the fun part. We're going to cut up our dies. Because here is why. If you use these dies at this length, you can't go, you can't do it, right? Without going above the top of your card base. You just can't. So, I just didn't. I just cut them off right about there. And I really did pretty much the same for all of them. And you're going to get some extra pieces, and it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Okay. And then we'll cut this off. I think we'll cut this off right here. Okay. Now, I'm just going to adhere these behind the sentiment on the front of the poppy uppy thing. Okay. And this is what I did. This is very, very technical. I took these two like this, and I adhered them down like that. And if that was a little bit too long, I just cut a little bit more. You just keep cutting until it's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's cardstock, people. Make it do what you want it to do. Okay, so that looks good right there. I'm going to go ahead and glue that. There you go. See, once you start cutting, just cut. Hey, Daryl. Oh, summer school. Yay. Yay for extra money. Boo for having to work when it's hot. That is not so great. I don't like that so much. Okay. And then we'll just reach under there and put a little bit of liquid glue. May have to add a little bit in a minute, but that's okay. It'll get it started. All right. And then you just want to slide it under. Like that. Okay. And even though you measured, be sure you measure again so that the top of that die cut does not extend past the top of your card. All right. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side, but this one is going to be kind of like opposite. Does that, you see opposite? So here I have the green in front and the white behind. Here I'm going to put the white in front and the green behind. I'm going to do a fit check to see if I need to cut anything off. And I do. I'm going to cut a little bit of that green off. So did you guys see how I did that? I mean, it was really very, very technical. You know, there's a lot of measurement and really precise things going on there. Okay. All right, so we'll put a little bit of liquid glue, a little bit of liquid glue, a little bit of liquid glue. Get those back together and slide under and adhere to the poppy-uppy thing. Like that. Okay. And it's going to rub here a little bit, but it isn't like people need to go really, really snug to make it stand up. It stands up just perfect with the foliage sticking up just like it should. Okay, so now to decorate the bottom piece, what I did is I took the single leaf right here, and I adhered one of my flower layers to it, like that. And then I adhered it so that it would, when it was laying down and when it was flat. See how I did that? So I laid it flat so that it wouldn't cover up the sentiment when it was down, but it is a nice layer when it pops up. Okay. And then this guy, the genesis of this was I had this like gap right there and I didn't like it. I don't like gaps. Gaps don't work for me. So I thought, well, I'll put a leaf here to fill that gap and another flower there, because otherwise you've just got like a floating leaf, which it's not fall, so the leaves aren't floating yet. Okay, so see, there's method to the madness. It's just not always very apparent what it is, but there is. Okay, so that is like that. And then I'll take another one of my little stacked yes, it's like a flower arrangement. Yes, exactly. And I'll take another one of my little stacked flowers. And you know, I could have used pretty or peach pie there. That would have been pretty flowers. You could have used a combination of them. But what I did is I stuck with the pretty in pink, and then I'm going to put some shimmer gems on. And so now I'm going to stick a couple of little flowers here and there. Okay, so we're going to stick a flower here, and I'm really just sticking it to the die cuts. Exactly what it looks like I'm doing. Oh, I got a Chad. All right, and one more so that we are decorating with an odd number, and there we go. And now I'm going to pull out my 2426 in color jimmies, not those, these. And I am going to add here a small one to the middle of each of these flowers, like that. So you have pretty, I keep wanting to say pretty and peach, and that is incorrect. That would be peach pie to these ones, right here. And then I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to put a large one right in the middle of that flower right there. And that's our card right there. So it sits up beautifully. So it's hard for you to see it, but there, pretend that's like it's sitting up. So it's got a lot of depth to it, and it does look like a flower arrangement, I think. So let's do a quick card envelope, because otherwise you don't have that first impression. First impressions count. Remember, that's right. Thank you, Rosie. Remember, there is no video on Saturday night. I hope for those of you who are demonstrators and who are doing creativity now that you enjoy that. I'm very excited about the new, all right, let me see if I can get this lined up. There it is. Remember, this is full strength, stamped off once, pretty in pink. And just look until you get those petals lined up. and give that a little stamp. Oh, yes. Yeah, Medicare birthday. It'll be perfect. Yes. And then we're going to put a little bit of the, this was actually the design that I used on the Poppy Up piece. You could use any of them that you liked on the envelope flap. That's what's so perfect about this paper, is that all of the colors are totally coordinated. You can use all of them in multiple ways. All right. And then we'll do the world's easiest. Could I just point out, this is the only fussy cutting in the entire envelope. I mean, the entire card. It is, in fact, also the only fussy cutting on the envelope, but more importantly, the only fussy cutting at all. Right, there we go. And there you have it. This would also be a great birthday card. You could certainly change the sentiments on the front and on the back. I mean, actually, if you think about it, you could do happy birthday, and then you could still do my heart goes out to you, depending on how old that person is and how they're feeling about getting to be however old they are. Just, you know, saying. It could be funny. Okay, so there you are, people. I appreciate you spending part of your time with me, and I appreciate you waiting when I was a little bit late. And oh, by the way, 40 minutes. My goodness, I'm sorry. Have a great rest of your week. I will see you next Thursday at the regularly scheduled time. No video on Saturday. And be watching. You just never know when you might see a sneak peek of the new suite. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Ta.